Long ago, in a land of copper roofs and ringing bells, there ruled a king named Sudharma. His greatest desire was simple, yet impossible: to have only good days. Every morning, his servants would gather before his throne and ask the ritual question, "Great king, how is this day?" If the sky was clear and the court obedient, he would smile, his voice echoing with satisfaction, and declare, "This is a good day." But if the sky dared to darken, or a minister displeased him in the slightest, he would strike the marble floor with his staff, his face a thundercloud. "This is a bad day." And when the day was bad, the king punished it. He fined merchants for imagined slights. He dismissed loyal servants for trivial errors. He blamed the wind, the messengers, even the distant stars. Yet, despite his power and his fury, the bad days kept coming relentlessly. One night, tormented by sleeplessness, the king summoned an old storyteller who lived a quiet life beyond the grand city walls. "Tell me," Sudharma demanded, his voice heavy with frustration, "why do bad days continue to find me? Have I not done everything to banish them?" The storyteller bowed low, his eyes wise and calm. "Because, Your Majesty," he said softly, "because you have been stealing from tomorrow." The king frowned, his brow furrowed in confusion. "I steal nothing. I am the king." The old man simply smiled, a gentle, knowing smile. "Then allow me to show you." At the first light of dawn, the storyteller led the king out of the palace, beyond the bustling city, past the verdant fields, to a quiet, secluded lake. The water was like glass, reflecting the awakening sky with perfect clarity. "Look," the old man urged. The king peered into the water and saw his own reflection, but it was not still. It trembled and wavered, though the air was completely calm. "Strike the water," the storyteller said. The king, accustomed to command, struck the surface with his staff. Ripples spread outward, distorting his image into a chaotic dance of light and shadow. "Now," the old man asked, his voice even, "do you expect the reflection to settle while you disturb the water?" The king shook his head. The answer was obvious. The storyteller's words then fell like soft rain. "Each time you blame the day, Your Majesty, each time you strike the world with your anger, you disturb the waters of your own mind. And tomorrow," he paused, letting the weight of his words sink in, "tomorrow must drink from that very same lake." The king was silent, the pieces of a puzzle he never knew existed beginning to fall into place. The storyteller continued, his voice a gentle guide. "You believe good days are given to you like a gift from the heavens, but they are not. They are made." "Made how?" asked the king, his voice barely a whisper. "By the state of the mind that meets them." The storyteller then shared tales of a humble monk who slept peacefully beneath a leaking roof, waking each morning with a heart full of gratitude for the shelter he had. He spoke of a great general who conquered entire cities, yet could not conquer the turmoil in his own thoughts, finding no rest. "Circumstances," he explained, "are like guests that arrive at your door. Some are welcome, others are not. But the mind is the host. A peaceful host can welcome all guests without fear, without being thrown into chaos." That night, the king decided to try something new, something that felt foreign and difficult. When a wave of irritation arose within him, he did not strike out. When the impulse to blame someone appeared, he simply waited. It felt deeply uncomfortable, as though he had laid down a familiar weapon he had carried his entire life. But then, something unexpected happened. The day passed, and it did not wound him. Weeks turned to months. The rain came, as it always did. Ministers made mistakes. People disappointed him. Life, in all its imperfection, continued. Yet fewer and fewer days were called bad. One morning, a servant approached and asked the now famous question, "Great king, how is this day?" The king paused. For the first time, he looked inward before he looked outward. He felt the state of his own heart before judging the state of the world. Finally, a small smile touched his lips. "The day," he said, "has done nothing wrong." From that time on, Sudharma became known not as a ruler of lands and armies, but as a ruler of his own response. And the stories about him changed. It was said that when his kingdom suffered hardship, he did not multiply that suffering with his own anger. When good fortune came, he did not cling to it with desperate hands. And so, his days grew lighter. The old storyteller disappeared soon after, as mysteriously as he had arrived. Some whispered he was never real at all, just a figment of the king's imagination. Others believed he was the king's own wisdom, which had been waiting patiently outside the palace walls, finally invited inside to speak. And so, to this day, the elders pass down the lesson of King Sudharma, a simple and profound truth. Do not demand that tomorrow be good. Instead, prepare the mind that will meet it, for the day does not decide your peace, the mind does. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more tales that explore the inner world. See you next time.